How's it going, everybody? How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Got a quick live feed going on tonight. Tonight, I want to discuss something what a lot of people have an issue with, but they never really want to talk about it because from the outside looking in, you see people a lot of times doing well, but on the inside looking out, it was a little bit different, and that's people just being upside down in their loans. They be upside down, which predominantly you in your car loan. Or upside down, you can be, have some, or what we call the term in the financial world, negative equity. Excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me. Negative equity. That's mean you have a loan balance. The loan balance in relation to the actual value of that product you have. It's a negative amount. But a lot of people just have that occurrence. We start talking about being upside down in your loan, where they, for some reason, that the actual loan balance that they have, again, the actual value is greater than the appreciate or the value of the product or the asset attached to it. And it's a common occurrence with a lot of cars. And I want to talk about that. They ask that question: are you upside down in your loan? And how it happens, and also give you some tips on how to get out of it. Okay. Excuse me. Again, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Doing my live feed here at the crib. Got my little studio here and stuff. It took me a while to get everything together. I am taking calls in tonight. Oh man, I just thought about it. I didn't put the number in on the TikTok, but the call-in number is 678-961-3176. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Again, the call-in number is 678-961-3176. For the most part, I'm going to be doing the talking. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, I'll open the floor up when you guys can call. If you got any comments and stuff, wherever you're looking at right now, you can leave your comments. You guys know the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. We talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We got over 400 videos on the YouTube channel, which is the main hub. So regardless of what platform that you're looking at right now, the main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. Over 400 videos on the YouTube channel, covering again personal finance, business, investing, entrepreneurship, and business. We have a grant playlist with over 150 grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. So please, whatever platform you're looking at, regardless, I appreciate you tuning in. But go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Take advantage of all the great information. You guys see, I got everything set up at the crib. We was at the studio last night at Misfits Radio, Misfits TV. Also, make sure you check out my Misfits Radio family. Just Google them. Look them up on YouTube. Look them up on all the different platforms. And guys, I think we got 7-8 different shows on the channel for you guys to take advantage of, as far as gospel channels, hip hop channels, other talk shows and stuff. But yeah, check out Misfits TV and Misfits Radio as well. But I was at the studio last night. We had a great show. Me and Lab had a good discussion. I forgot I had so much stuff going on. I forgot what last night's show was on, but. Right now, we're going to stick in the present. Again, we're talking about, if you're upside down in your loan, how it happens, how you get out of it. Again, usually what happens when a person gets upside down in the loan, typically what happens is on most of the times, you already got your vehicle asset attached. You may have already bought a loan. Usually that first car, you typically going to buy it with a negative equity with it But the only thing about the difference between the asset being a vehicle, we know vehicles depreciate is, opposite of actual house. A house appreciates. So we all know once you pull right off that lot, then I'm coming for the value to decrease. You bought a car for 20,000. You roll off the lot, you probably got a value of $18,000 as soon as you roll off the lot. The unfortunate part about it, depending on how you got the car financed, be it just at moderate rate, 6-8%. Then you may have a loan balance over a certain term, let's say 72 months, which is 6 years. The total loan may be $24,000, maybe $25,000, right? So look at we have a car that we purchased for $20,000. We have it financed over that term for $25,000. We roll off the lot, now it's valued at $18,000, right? So we $7,000 in the hole soon we just pull off the lot, right? And it happens all the time. And we'll talk about strategies to actually avoid it. We're just looking at, from the vantage point of how it happens. And a lot of times, people, when they go purchase cars, you see it all on social media. I'm all about everybody enjoying themselves and, celebrating what they work hard for as far as they want to share with people and everything. But you see people put their cars up, got a picture of, the new ride and showing it. And, I won't say you need to discuss the terms and things like that, but most of the time, people leave out with a car that's, probably going to be overvalued, overpriced when we start looking at the financial terms that it's financed for. So how do you avoid that stuff, D? That's what, if anyone has any questions, listen, I had to get it. A lot of times, depending if you got challenge credit or not, you probably got an unfavorable terms that were set with us, because we know we first walk in the car lot. What's the first thing they ask you? What do you want to pay a month? So you want, and me being a finance person, I always, anytime I purchase the car, I always went into the dealership with my little handy finance calculator, where you can put in the present value, the terms, the rate, payment. You already know exactly what it is. We always, just for educational purposes, the best thing is I would just say, this is what I want to buy the car for. I'm not in anybody's pocket. It probably would be easier to say, hey, this is what I can afford to pay each month. But just for, advice purposes, guys, the best thing is to know what you want to purchase the car for, because once you know what you purchase the car for, that will dictate the payments and everything. But that still may not be favorable for you. So you get your car, you roll off, you got the negative equity and everything. You're moving through life, right? Here's the issue come up. It may not even be an issue at all for you for, let's say, 4 or 5 years, depending on what kind of car you got, right? Depending on what you got. Some cars can go through the whole term, being that 6-year term, never have an issue with it. And typically more cars today are more sustainable. Typically, if you stay on top of your maintenance and things like that, you won't really have any major issues. But what happens a lot of times, we get maybe a used car under those terms. And what happens is something's going wrong. You get this fixed, you get that fixed, you're going back and forth, getting tired of doing this, and that is smoking, this is leaking. And you say, well, look, let me go into the dealership, try to get me a new car, right? Go to the dealership, try to get a new car. You see the car that's, kind of fits in your budget. You like it rather. Yeah, it's about $25,000. I'm like, okay, cool. It's $25,000. Here's the issue with that. The car that you currently have, you have an outstanding balance of $5,000. So now we're sitting there looking like, look, man, and the dealership says, listen, we can buy it. You can do a trade-in for you. We know a trade-in is where they'll trade in the vehicle that you have. You purchase that vehicle that you have, minus if you have any outstanding debt on there. If that's attached to it, if not, you can get the whole amount rolled to your actual new purchase. But if that's not the case, what happens? We got to turn around, roll that negative equity in. You have they're saying your vehicle is valued at, let's say, $7,000. I mean, not $7,000. Let's say $2,000 to get on trade in. You owe $5,000, so you stuck with $3,000 in negative equity. You got to attach that to that $25,000 on the new car. Now you sat there and did that. You're like, okay, cool. Everybody's been there. I know many of us have already seen this movie before, so it's nothing new. So you turn around, you got to add that $3,000 to the 25, you got $28,000, and your credit still isn't the best. So now you got to, they may give you, just say a little uncomfortable rate. Let's say 6, 7, 8, maybe 9% on the car loan. I know it's something out there a whole lot higher than that. Trust me, I know. But you got that finance for another 6 years, $35,000. Now the car, well, even with your negative equity, was $8,000 added to it. But then when these new terms and new rates added to it, now we finance up to $35,000. What in the hell is going on? That's the thing about it. Now we're sitting there like, man, we are really, really in a hole. Because the problem is what? I got a sale price of a car of 25. I added 3 to it. Then I'm financing all these terms. It's going to 35. I drive off the lot. The car's worth maybe $22,000. So what have I put myself in a situation? A $21,000 car with a value, but with a loan attached to it, $35,000, $14,000 upside down. It may sound crazy, it may sound stupid, but it happens all the time, right? It happens all the time because, I know the other side of it. You're tired of going to, getting your car fixed every week. You're tired of getting flim-flammed and this, that, and they're like, look, let me just get something I feel like probably a little bit more dependable instead of me spend all this money in car repairs every week. I get it. I understand. But the problem comes up now. We in this situation, we got this overpriced car that we're paying notes on that's not even worth what we got. And it's not something that really probably affects you the first couple of years because you're like, hey, man, I had to get out of that hole, had to work it out and everything. Is the issue of it is if you have that same issue come back up with the repairs, excuse me, with the repairs needed on that car another 3 or 4 years. And this time now you can't get approved for it. And guys, I know it happens all the time. They ain't getting the funks where you're like, look, man, y'all can have this car. You might just let it go. Then you go to those sharks at the buy here, pay here a lot. Well, you're getting some astronomical rate on some car that's, hell, got cancer and AIDS, and you can't do anything with it, right? So I understand, from that perspective what happened. But typically that what happened when we have, just cars get that negative equity and get upside down or what it costs, relates when we start talking about the other asset, that being a house, typically what happened with a house. And I would be very, I would imagine there would be many homes this time next year that I have negative equity attached to, especially cars that are, not cars, but homes that are purchased in 2022 because of the hyperinflation and overpricing of homes right now. I don't think it's nothing uncommon for people that bought a house for $300,000 or $200,000 to be, 15, the value has decreased by $15,000 this time next year. I don't think it'll be uncommon. Because the market will correct, and with rates going down, that's going to change as well. Excuse me, you see that already now with the rates going up and probably proposed to go up some more. You see market prices going down because of supply and demand. So that's typically what happens even when you have a home that's overpriced. You have market correction, there's a market decline with it. It can be, and we have things like, with the rates brought up by the feds, you can have certain things coming to an area. I'm in Clayton County, Georgia, and it was about maybe 10, 12 years ago. There was a big thing with the school system had lost their accreditation. And, we know when the biggest market drive, when especially talking about home values, is the school system. When the school system is up to par and outstanding and stuff, you have astronomical home values. When you have a subpar school system, unless it depending if there's some kind of attraction like a theme park or something like that may change it. But for the most part, that's the main driver of any home value. What's going on, Mina Perkins? I appreciate you tuning in. Glad you catch a live show, guys. Glad you catch a live show. And like I said, I got the call in set up. Not taking no calls right now, but probably when we get go through the discussion and everything. I'll open it up with you guys, make a phone call. Again, the number is 678-961-3176. Again, that's 678-961-3176. Okay. So again, like I remember that here with our school system, man, the values, dropped. Hell, they dropped them over 50% with a lot of homes in Clayton County. In Clayton County is in the southern, the southern part of Metro Atlanta. It's about 10, 15 years ago when that happened. But I remember, there was just something like, nice homes, nice neighborhoods and everything like that. I live in something like a little Smallville and everything. So it was cool. But, when that happened, that was something nobody had any, notice that it was coming. But all of a sudden, all the prices dropped. And it was a good situation if you was an investor looking for decent real estate with doing it. But that's one of the things I would tell people, keep their eyes open for. But it definitely, guys, I think this time next year, you're going to see a lot of residential homes that were purchased this year have a lower value than what they were in their purchase price. The unfortunate part about it, you're going to have people, I don't think it's going to be uncommon for people to have mortgage loans for $200,000 on a property that's worth $150,000. Maybe not that much. Don't be stretching it, but let's say 175, 185. And again, I really do think that. I think it'll go back in relation to it? It'll be some years, but I do think that's going to be something that's not uncommon with homes that were purchased in 2022. I do think the price and the value is going to decrease once you see these market corrections and everything go through. So that's how we look at, in terms of just being upside down with your loan, or like I said, with negative equity. That's how it happens. We start looking at automobile, we're looking at a home purchase, and it could be typically it's going to be attached to some kind of fixed asset, right? When we say fixed asset or tangible asset, something that you can touch, right? Home, car, just so maybe a building, business, something that you might necessarily can touch a business, but we know just if something happens with it, a particular business, how prices and the value can decline with it, and again, you can buy something that you thought was a good deal at one time, and you see all the time people buy these ball teams, and after so many years, the value of it increased. Bam, these guys are instant billionaires. And it's also been people. I remember I looked into maybe 10 years ago. It was a ladies football league here in Metro Atlanta. I was looking to get into it with a couple guys. Thank God that little guy on my shoulder told me it was a dumbass idea, because the guy on the other shoulder was just really, really hyping me up. But son, just my voice of reason told me, hey man, get out of it. And it was getting some traction with everything. This wasn't one. This not the league that the women were in the underwear playing. This was just a regular league, and it had, I went to a couple games. They had decent turnouts there. It didn't cost that much in regards to facilitating the leagues and the games and stuff. Son just told me don't do it. Coincidentally, the league folded before the end of that season. I didn't see that coming, but again, I wasn't privy to some information as well. But I say that to say there are a lot of situations where you think, okay, you can get in and you get a good deal and the value increase. You like cool, you look like a genius. But it's a lot more of them out there. You can just be, walking around holding your pants up with your shoestrings. You've been lost everything and stuff. So we know those are the ways that people can get in situations rather and end up upside down with a loan. What I always tell people is, we start looking at, how to actually get ways where we can actually get we don't have to go through that, to avoid being upside down with a loan. Let me get this disclaimer. The unfortunate part about it, most of the times, I don't know statistically what the number is, what's it, to be honest with you, but many a times people don't have necessarily the credit to be able to have the leverage to be able to command, deals and situations that they're doing what they want to do. And what I mean by that is, I know for myself personally, I got decent credit. So I've never had problem past 15 years in a car loan that was over 2%. No, over the past 15 years, maybe 20 years, no car loan over 2%. The thing with that is, typically what happens is the notes are paid off at cost, right? A little bit over, but right at cost. And that's typically, we start looking at, you guys can look at any kind of calculation scales. I know last night I was talking on the show, we was talking about a calculator, a calculator, a website calculator that I use all the time. It's called dinkytown.net. That's dinky.net. Again, that's dinky.net, dinkytown.net. And what's on Dinkytown is all these different calculators, for mortgage calculators, refinance calculators, all these different items that are on there that people can go on there and plug and play different scenarios, different numbers to find out, what would be the best way to pay for a mortgage, get a car note, refinance a car, sell, different, all kind of different things, right? Go to Dinkytown and you can do a plug and play. Typically, when you look at those actual loan calculators, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's done a home purchase, they've seen what's called the amortization scale, where you see so much that you're paying towards the principal of the home in relation to the interest amount and where it's going at with doing it. Those kind of, once you plug and play those numbers, you'll see the actual scales and graphs in relation. And I think one of the things that people can look at rather is to plug it in to see how much or how off you will be when you're making your payments for that particular car, depending on what the rate is, where you'll kind of meet at actual cost value, right? One of the biggest things I pushed at a video, did quite well. Don't pay for it. I think we reran that video. Don't get gap insurance with your loan. And what I meant with the whole thing with not getting gap insurance with your loan, we know gap insurance. God, I forgot what gap stands for. But anyway, gap insurance pays for the difference of your loan in relation to, well, they say it pays the difference between the loan balance and the actual value of the car. So what happens is, you wreck a car, the value of the car is $2,000, but the actual loan amount is $5,000. Gap insurance, you typically pays the $3,000 difference. Outside, insurance company is just going to pay the value. So that's what gap matches up with. And what we was talking about with gap insurance, guys, if you get a car at a lower rate, you really don't need to get gap insurance, or you get gap insurance just for the first couple of years of the loan. And the reason why we mentioned that, because typically most people get gap insurance included with the whole loan, where depending on the rate, definitely in a rate under 5%, you don't need to get gap insurance. You can get gap insurance with your regular insurance, automobile insurance company, and after year 2, you can get rid of it. And the reason being, if you have a lower rate under that, thanks, I appreciate that, Mina. Guaranteed asset protection insurance. That's gap insurance. Guaranteed asset protection insurance. And again, that just covers the difference between the actual loan balance and the value of the car, because typically the insurance company is just going to cover the value of the car. If you have anything exceeding that, you kind of SOL with doing that, but gap insurance will cover it. But think about it. If you have a lower rate and you're making the payments, it's just going to go in relation to cost. So there's no need for it. There's no need to get gap insurance on a car that you got at 1% or at 2%, right? There's no need to do that, right? Because it's decreasing at cost. If you think about it, you're almost paying just straight installment loans without a rate attached to it. It's going to be a little bit into it, but to play up with the fees and stuff, maybe roll into the loan, but it's the rate is that small. There's no need for it. And that's one of the things we talked about, not necessarily including with your loan. Now, listen, if you roll a negative equity into that loan, you're already upside down starting with it, get gap insurance, but still get the gap insurance with your insurance company. Don't get gap insurance with the car note. Do not get it with the car note. Okay. That's one of the biggest things that our dealerships try to roll with you. If you already got your insurance, get it with that. It'll be a whole lot cheaper, and you can stop it at any time, because we want to be smart, smart individuals. We're constantly checking that every other year or every year to see, where we're in relation to our loan balance to the value of the car. And like I said, if you totally upside down, you need to keep it the whole damn time. Excuse me, but if you're almost near cost with doing it, you should always put yourself in a situation where you can get out of it with the gap insurance, okay? So with that said, guys, you want to, if you are privy to go into a situation where you got a low interest rate, that's the way I would tell you to do it. Just get your car, with doing that, cool. Now, are we always going to be in a position where, we have a low rate, or we going to, just look at reality? I have this car, this already has a negative equity, and I roll it into. We're going to go over a couple of different options you can do to just kind of help you get out of that. The easiest thing of it is just try to be able to refinance it. That will go into, how your credit, depending on what your credit score, your credit rating is at a particular time, you have even that option to actually do a refinance, right? So, refinance would just be the actual loan balance that you have. If you can find a lender to take it and just give you a whole nother loan amount with that, it still may have some negative equity in relation to the actual value of the car we're doing it, but typically that'll put you in a situation with a lower rate. The lower rate may be put you in a situation where you can increase your payments because your lower rate. Now you have original loan was $5,000. Now you may refinance the $3,000 because you paid it on a couple of years, maybe at a lower rate. Hopefully that's a smarter thing to do. So now you can still maybe even pay the same amount that you had before the refinance, decrease the loan to be able to do that. Now you probably add between loan balance and value of the car, right? That's what we kind of want to make sure we're looking at in terms of that. Because again, most of these are going to be on installment loans. And installment loans are loans that are set at a fixed rate over a fixed period of time. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, look in the finance playlist. I have my loans, the actual credit 101, where I break down all the different loan products from credit cards, fixed loans, installment loans, signature loans, and also have the business credit 101, where I broke down all the different products when we start talking about business credit, business loans, business credit cards, factoring loans, equipment loans, what the difference are. So those videos are Mr. Short on YouTube. Checking the finance playlist just to give you a better explanation of different loan products that you have on the individual side and also on the business side. Those two different videos. So check those out. If you need any more in-depth explanation in regards to those particular loan products. But again, you can refinance it and just get everything at a lower rate, lower your payment. Again, just because we got a lower payment, we still want to pay more money or the money we were paying before. That accelerates the way we can come down with that particular debt. We're closer to the value of the car. Now we're not upside down anymore, right? We're looking at not being upside down. You can see you may be in a situation where you got a car that may appreciate some value, and that typically will happen unless it's just maybe like an old school car or something like that. We're doing it. If you're in a position where you can pay, you can't get refinancing, and your income substantial where you can pay a little bit more money towards doing that, I would advise you to do that. It's real funky to be in those spots. Well, and I understand everybody have different money situations, but once you get in it, you're going to have to do something more than likely uncomfortable to get out of it. So unless you have decent credit where you can just walk in and get a whole nother loan attached to it, and you're like, hey, man, listen, I'm trying to get everything straightened out. You're going to do something uncomfortable, but you don't want to stay, upside down too long or with doing it. A lot of times people give advice that, hey, you can go to this person, get another loan. The issue is all going to come back to where I tell you guys with these loans, you got to look at the cost. And the cost of loans is that interest rate. That dictates so much. The most important thing, people just look at it, hey, I got a loan for $5,000. Listen, it's great. I go to this site, they'll approve you. Don't matter your credit score, and that's probably true. But trust me, the terms, that being the actual amount of time you got, the amount of time that the loan will be set for, and the rate can be so high, it won't be beneficial to you. So that's why I want you guys to kind of make sure you understand the whole point of doing that. Okay, we got to be very, very careful about that by getting loans, any kind of loan like that. Okay, be very, very mindful of the rate and the terms that they're giving you. Okay, because again, just because you get access to a loan for a certain dollar amount, if you know that, especially if you know that you got an unfavorable, I won't use unfavorable, but a lower credit score, and the actual deals that have been approached with you and the terms that have been approached with you with doing it, and all of a sudden, wow, now I got access to doing it. more than likely it's going to be something that's not going to be favorable to you. You may get the dollar amount awarded to you, but the terms are going to be bad, guys. When I say bad, the rate's going to be high as hell. Payment period, it's just going to be real funky, and they bank on you to do that. And once it's just like like they're legal loan sharks. So you got to be kind of careful when we start dealing with these particular organizations, not putting yourself in a funky spot where hey, you're already upside down, but now you don't want to be hanging off a cliff by your toes. So we got to be very, very careful of that. Okay. The next thing we start looking at just with a home, same thing with a home purchase. The biggest thing we look at, we're keeping in mind with the actual car. The car devalues where a home appreciates. Typically, unless you just got a home built by the Clayton County school system, got a whole new school board. It took about maybe I would say probably 10 years to everybody get amnesia about what happened. How values went back on the rise. Nobody remembers it unless you here back in the day with doing it. So everything worked out. But typically things will go up unless you're next to some kind of damn nuclear plant or something like that where things won't benefit you. But even if as long as you have probably a decent school system or a nice commerce section near your home, you will be okay. But you still, if you're upside down, you can still, same theory, you can try to do a refinance, everything at a lower rate and everything. Hold on one second, my son's leaving. Hold on one second. You gonna grab the stuff? Grab the stuff. The vegetables. Give me 1 second, son. 1 second. Give me 1 second, son. Give me 1 second, son. I'm sorry about that. I'm try to get them squared away before they leave. But that was one of the things with the refinance with your property. You can do that. Try to see if you want to get the new balance. If you paid over a certain period of time at another rate, that probably can put you at a better spot with doing it. Maybe closer to the value of doing it because again, you may the new payment, be able to pay more towards it, may be beneficial till you get to that point where the value at, but it doesn't impact you as much with home values because again, at some point the home values will start going back up, right? So that that's one of the things with that. That's the benefit of having a home. The value is going to go back up in relation with, as opposed to the car, it's going to go down, right? So that doesn't really impact you as much. So those are just some things we just want to have that quick discussion with you guys in regards to being upside down in your car note or being upside in any kind of loan, recognizing it, knowing what it is, and give you some strategies on how to come out of it. With that said, guys, I want to open the phone lines up. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, feel free to give me a call. The number is 678-961-3176, 678-961-3176. So we'll keep it open for a little bit. I know everybody's probably at the football games or getting ready to head out to the clubs tonight. Just want to do a quick live feed with you guys. Got any calls in? I wanted to start like an hour earlier with that. We got a lot of stuff coming out of the pipe on Mr. Short Dollar starting next week. Got a lot more videos. Going to do a couple, at least probably 2 or 3 live feeds a week in regards where you got the call-in show. So if you do catch this video later and you missed the live feed or the call-in, I haven't got the exact dates in, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I don't want to commit to Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I don't. We always gonna have the shows every Thursday at 8 p.m. But we haven't got a call in set up for the shows. But as far as me being at my lab doing it and stuff, I can't. I haven't got that established yet. I haven't decided on that yet exactly when I'm gonna do mine. But I will post it once we decide on the days to have it. But again, if you want to call in, you want to just say what's up, Pooch, that's fine. 678-961-3176. Again, 678-961-3176. Okay, let me see. Anybody got any questions or anything like that? Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All right, with that, let's see if we got anybody. If anybody came in right now. Well, look, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I haven't had anyone come in, and probably people come in like later on with it. With any questions, if you do check the video out later, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section or any questions that you may have in relation to it. I will do that. But I continue to have a couple live feeds, get a kind of feel and get a time frame will be best for people to tune in and stuff like that. But like I said, right now, just I'll get a one more minute if anybody can call in. But I'm glad we had a discussion again to talking about. Hold on one second, son. In regards to being upside down alone, what is it and how to get out of it? Okay, but again, guys, I want you guys to be safe out there. I am tomorrow having I'm not having, my son's having a baby shower for my first grandbaby, so I'm super excited about that. Be a papa soon, and we're gonna be enjoying that with everybody. But I do want to tell you guys again, I appreciate all the love and support. We're at 24,600 subscribers on YouTube. We just need about a little bit over 300 more subscribers to get at 25,000, reach that milestone. So please, 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 if you're not a subscriber of Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Take advantage, man. Like I said, it's over 400 videos on the YouTube channel covering everything: business operations, business management, business finance, and loans, grants, all kind of information. We've had the channel over 5 years. A lot of great information on there and stuff. You guys know I'm an accountant by profession. I don't believe in telling you quick tricks on how to get certain things. I'm telling you the right way to do it, even if the right way may take a little longer than normally, but the right way will have you stop you from having to keep starting over and doing the stuff all over again. I ain't got time or money to do that, and I don't think you guys do either. Okay, but listen, we're gonna wrap everything up. I want to tell you guys I appreciate you for tuning in. Y'all be safe this weekend. Love you guys. Thanks for all the love and support, and I'll talk with you soon.